If AI has been making you feel sick in the stomach, like the floor of ordinary life is starting to tilt, this video is for you. Maybe you're not just asking, will my job change? Maybe you're asking something quieter and harder. Will I still matter? Today we're going to learn how to think about the next 2 years of AI without panic, without fantasy, and without handing your self-respect over to a machine. Because the real danger is not only disruption, it's humiliation. It's the fear of becoming unnecessary in public. And if that fear has found you at 2 a.m., refreshing news, comparing yourself to strangers, wondering if you're already behind, I want to start here. You're not weak for feeling that. You're having a very human reaction to uncertainty. But human reactions need guidance. Otherwise, fear becomes a false master. Let's begin with the part people skip. AI anxiety feels so personal because work is never just work. A paycheck is obvious, but work is also a place in the world. It's routine. It's proof to yourself that you can do something. It's how many people answer the question, who are you? When a new tool arrives and everyone starts saying that this will replace analysts or writers or designers or assistants or coders, the wound is not only economic, it's moral. It feels like judgment. Suddenly the room seems to ask, were you valuable or just temporarily useful? That's why smart, capable people can feel ashamed before anything has even happened to them. A lot of viewers will know this feeling exactly. You open your laptop to do honest work, and instead of beginning, you freeze. One tab says AI will make you superhuman. Another says AI will erase your career. A third shows a teenager building a business from his bedroom with 12 tools you've never heard of. And now you're not working. You're absorbing a weather system of panic. Here's the first move. Don't worship the machine. That may sound dramatic, but people do this constantly. Some worship it by declaring it all-powerful. Others worship it by fearing it as if it sees everything, knows everything, and has already won. Both reactions give it too much dignity and give you too little. Here's why that matters. Over the next 2 years, AI will probably be very important. It will speed up many tasks. It will lower the cost of producing words, images, code, customer support, summaries, ads, schoolwork, and spam. It will become normal in offices, classrooms, search, and everyday apps. But normal is not the same as magical. A washing machine changed life. It didn't become your grandmother. AI can be brilliant in narrow moments and foolish in ordinary ones. It can draft a clean email and invent a fake source. It can suggest code and miss the hidden edge case. It can mimic confidence better than it can earn trust. So let's test that idea. If a system can produce 10 reports in an hour, what happens next? Most people imagine one clean answer, fewer workers. Sometimes that will happen, but often the first result is messier. Managers demand more reports. Standards change. Cheap work floods the zone. People now need to check outputs, clean errors, calm customers, and decide what matters. The job doesn't vanish. The job mutates. That mutation can still hurt, but it's not the same as extinction. This is a good rule for the next 2 years. Expect confusion before clarity. Not a robot takeover, a weird middle period. A lot of ordinary life will feel like that. Schools debating what counts as cheating. Offices pretending everyone is AI-enabled, while nobody agrees on what good work now looks like. Friends posting polished content made in minutes while feeling emptier, not freer. Customer service getting faster and colder at the same time. The future is not arriving like a movie. It's leaking into Tuesday afternoon. And that means your task is not to predict everything. It's to keep your balance. Now the second move, don't build your dignity on being harder to replace than a bot. This one is painful because many of us were trained to do exactly that. Be efficient, be impressive, Be useful enough, and nobody can question your worth. But if your whole identity rests on output, speed, prestige, or being the smartest person in the room, then every new tool becomes an insult. You'll live defensively. You'll check the horizon for threats every day. That's no way to live. A steadier idea is this. Your dignity doesn't come from winning a comparison against software. It comes from what you choose to honor. Your care, your honesty, your reliability, your courage when things are unclear, your refusal to become cruel when you're scared. Those are not soft extras. Those are load-bearing parts of a life. Think about a nurse, a teacher, a team lead, a parent, a mechanic, a local business owner, a friend helping someone through a divorce. In each case, part of the value is information, but a deeper part is judgment, steadiness, timing, taste, reassurance, responsibility. A child doesn't want the statistically most likely bedtime sentence. A frightened patient doesn't only need a summary. A struggling team doesn't only need more output. People need contact with a person who means what they say. That doesn't make you safe from change. It makes you solid during change. Short line worth keeping. Usefulness changes fast. Character changes slow. Now let's get practical about what the next 2 years may actually feel like. I think most people won't be replaced by one giant event. They'll be pressured by 5 smaller ones. First, parts of their job will get cheaper. Second, expectations will rise because tools are faster. Third, attention will get noisier because cheap content will multiply. Fourth, status games will get strange. People will brag about doing everything with AI or brag about refusing it entirely. Both can become costumes. Fifth, many people will quietly grieve a loss of confidence. They'll still be employed, but they'll no longer know what counts as enough. That last one matters most. When standards get blurry, shame rushes in. You may feel this yourself. You used to know when you had done a good day of work. Now maybe you wonder, should I have used a tool for that? Am I slow? Am I cheating? Am I being naive? This is the hidden tax of rapid change, not just extra tasks, extra self-doubt. So what can you do? I want to give you 4 practical moves, not tricks, not hustle slogans, just ways to stay upright. First, build a human core. Pick 2 or 3 abilities that become more valuable when the world is noisy. Clear writing, calm speaking, good taste, careful checking, real listening, teaching, trustworthiness, domain understanding, the ability to notice when something is technically correct but humanly wrong. AI often gives you the average shape of an answer. Human beings are still needed for the last mile of truth. If you work in an office, become the person who can turn messy inputs into something others can actually use. If you're creative, become someone with a real point of view, not just endless production. If you're technical, become the one who understands consequences, not just outputs. A simple question helps here. When the draft is done, what still requires a person? Train that. Second, make peace with being a beginner again. This is emotionally harder than it sounds. Adults hate feeling clumsy. A 12-year-old clicking through tools can make a 40-year-old feel ancient in 10 minutes. But embarrassment is not evidence of doom. It's often just the cost of updating. So choose one tool relevant to your life. 1, use it for small real tasks for 2 weeks. Summarize a long document, brainstorm options, rewrite a rough email, check code, compare explanations, notice where it helps, notice where it lies, notice where it makes you lazy. You're not marrying the tool, you're learning the weather. That's enough. Third, protect your attention like a home, not a highway. This may be the most important one. AI won't only affect jobs, it will affect the texture of consciousness. More generated content means more bait, more polished nonsense, more simulation of authority, more things designed to keep you reacting. If you let all of that into your head all day, your mind becomes like a town with no doors. Anyone can drive through honk and leave trash. So create some borders. Maybe no AI news before breakfast. Maybe one short check-in window instead of constant scanning. Maybe 1 hour a day of deep work with phone away and 20 tabs closed. Maybe you ask, before consuming a piece of content, did a person make this to clarify something or just to capture my attention? Attention is moral equipment. Spend it like it matters. Fourth, stay close to real people and real usefulness. Periods of technological change tempt people into abstract fear. We start living in giant nouns: economy, future, disruption, collapse. Meanwhile, the sane part of life is still local. Your neighbor needs help setting up a resume. Your co-worker needs someone to think through a messy problem. Your friend needs childcare for an hour. Your community needs someone dependable. Real usefulness is an antidote to vague dread. When you help one actual person, the future stops being a monster and becomes a series of tasks. This is also where meaning survives, not in winning every status contest, but in being of use without making your soul into a scoreboard. Here's a line I hope you remember. Don't let the age of clever machines make you less kind. Now let me give you one vivid scenario. Imagine two people named Maya and Ben. Maya spends the next year in permanent alarm. She follows every update, argues online, starts 5 tools, masters none, and secretly feels more disposable each month. Her attention is shattered. She confuses monitoring with preparation. Ben is not smarter. He is steadier. He learns one useful tool for his field. He keeps a notebook of tasks it helps with and tasks it harms. He improves his writing and listening. He checks claims carefully. He protects his mornings from panic scroll habits. By the end of the year, he may still face change, but he is less brittle. That's the aim. Not invulnerability, less brittleness. Because the next 2 years may reward the people who can remain teachable without becoming frantic. Now for 3 very concrete things. One thing to do today: write down the 5 tasks that make up most of your work or daily usefulness. Next to each one, mark 3 categories. AI helps, AI struggles, human judgment required. Do this honestly, not to frighten yourself, to replace fog with shape. One thing to notice this week: every time AI news spikes your anxiety, ask, what exactly am I afraid of losing here? Income, status, competence, belonging? Name the real fear. A named fear is easier to carry than a cloud, and one belief to let go of. If I can't future-proof my whole life, I am failing. No one gets that kind of guarantee. Not now, not before. A good life was never built on perfect forecasts. It was built on sane habits, chosen values, and the ability to respond without collapsing. One more thought, because I think many people need to hear it. You don't have to become a machine manager, a content machine, or a self-brand to deserve a future. You're allowed to want a life with decency in it. You're allowed to protect leisure, friendship, reading, craft, walks, family dinners, church, music, gardening, sleep. If technology saves time and we spend all of that time proving our worth harder, we've obeyed the wrong master. The point of tools is not endless acceleration. The point is a more human life. And yes, some systems, jobs, and rules will change quickly. Final specs, safety, and real-world compliance always need to be checked in the actual setting, especially in fields like health, law, education, engineering, or anything that can seriously affect people. That's another reason human judgment still matters. So here's the ending I want to leave you with. The next 2 years may be unstable, but instability doesn't get to decide your values. The world may become faster. You don't have to become frantic. Tools may become more capable, You don't have to become smaller. Tonight, if your mind starts racing, try this sentence. I don't need to control the whole future. I need to meet the next part well. That's enough for one evening, and often enough is where calm begins. If this helped, leave a comment with one human skill you want to strengthen over the next 6 months, and subscribe for more grounded thinking about intelligent systems.